If you haven't heard of the show Fallout, based on the video game series of the same name by Bethesda, you might be living under a rock. That's okay, that's what I'm here for. But if you have seen the show, there might be a few things that you missed in the 8 episodes that they released for Season 1. We'll be going over all the little details from the show that help build the world we've come to love from the games. So grab yourself a Nuka Cola, sit back and relax as we go through everything you might have missed in Episode 1, The End. Oh, and I think it goes without saying, this will include spoilers from the series and the following games. Without further ado, let's get to it. Right away, we are set in 2077, minutes before the bombs fall. We can see the birthday boy's mom bringing a cake out, and she passes by a robot that most would know from the games as Mr. Handy. Mr. Handy was created by a company called General Atomics to help humans with any and all household chores. A few seconds later, the mom is passing by the other moms of the kids at the birthday party, and they are watching the news, and we get our first glimpse into the war between the United States and China, happening here in the Battle of Anchorage. Now, the newscaster states that the battle has just ended, the U.S. getting their first great victory in this war. However, the battle lasted from winter 2066 to January 10th, 2077. And in the games, we see that the bombs fall on October 23rd, 2077. Meaning that there's a slight continuity error with the newscaster and the time that the bombs fell, as we'll later learn that October 23rd, 2077 is the correct date. And we learn in a later episode that Cooper Howard actually served in the military, specifically the Marines, and was deployed to the Battle of Anchorage sometime between that time period. Gauging for the fact that his daughter Janie is probably around 6 or 7 years old, it's safe to say that he served in the Battle of Anchorage between 2066 and 2070, before starting a successful career as a Western film star. This was a major battle that marked a turning point against China in favor of the US. When the dad is upset that Cooper won't do his famous Vault Boy thumbs up for the photo with his wife, we see that he's drinking a beer with a fish logo on it. This is a beer from Fallout New Vegas, only referenced in the games, but it's called Fishbrau Pale Ale. You can see it scattered throughout the party, even when they go indoors to eat cake and watch TV. After everyone gets a slice of cake and settled down in front of the TV, we see the newscaster starting to have a bit of a breakdown when he's talking about the weather. Birthday mom goes to change the channel, and quickly we flash through an ad for Nuka Cola. This is this world's version of Coca-Cola, and in the post-apocalyptic world, the bottle caps on top of these drinks are used as currency. The channel settles on a cartoon of Grognak the Barbarian, a comic book series seen throughout the video games, more specifically in Fallout 4. And it's sponsored by Sugar Bombs, a corn puff breakfast cereal. When Cooper is explaining the adult stuff and why he wouldn't do the thumbs up for the dad, to Janie, you can see behind him a bottle of Sunset Sarsaparilla. This is this world's version of root beer. Those that played Fallout New Vegas are probably familiar with a quest called The Legend of the Star. This focuses on collecting rare bottle caps that have blue stars on them from Sunset Sarsaparilla bottles. And when you complete this quest line, you get the awesome Pew Pew laser pistol. Right after the bombs fall, when Cooper is riding Sugarfoot down the mountain with his daughter, we can see right in front of the mushroom clouds a billboard for Vault-Tec. 219 years later, we now fast forward to 2296, where we get to meet our first main character, Lucy from Vault 33. Lucy is sitting in front of the council reading off some note cards, listing all the reasons why she would be a great mate in the tricentennial mating ritual between the 3 vaults, 31, 32, and 33. For gamers, we know she is listing off her special skills. These are the skills from Fallout 3 and beyond that affect the style of your gameplay and what kind of build you want to go for with your character. They are Strength, Perception, Endurance, Charisma, Intelligence, Agility, and Luck. She referenced Intermediate Phys Ed, Strength, the Young Pipefitters Association, Perception, Gymnastics, Endurance, Teaching History, Charisma, doing science with her dad, Intelligence, Fencing, Agility, and Shooting, Luck. Lucy has a really high luck skill, and we can gather that from the fact that she says she's not very good at shooting, but when we look at her paper target, she's hit almost all 10s. While prepping for the wedding and getting her dress fitted, she taps the head of a Vault Boy Bobblehead. Those who played Fallout 4 know that if you collect all the bobbleheads, they permanently increase certain stats on your character. When Lucy goes to see her dad when he's prepping for the reception of the wedding in the courtyard, he calls her his little sugar bomb, a reference to the breakfast cereal from earlier. Fast forwarding to the post-coital part of this episode, where Lucy grabs her Pip Boy to check the radiation levels of Monty, we get to see our first look at the screen and the Pip Boy itself. Of course, outside of Norm playing video games on it. Its layout and design are unique to the show, as they are a combination of 2 different Pip Boys the Pip Boy 2000 Mark VI from Fallout 76, and the Pip Boy 3000 Mark IV from Fallout 4. And according to the Fallout Wiki, we learned that this is actually the Pip Boy 3000 Mark V, a later version of the one from Fallout 4. We also learned from the Geiger counter built into the Pip Boy that Monty is giving off 8.1 times 1000 rads per second. After taking care of Monty and going to pull the knife out of herself, Lucy runs into the bathroom and pulls out a med kit, and in that med kit we get our first look at the Stimpak. The Stimpak is used in all the video games as a healing item and does exactly what it does in the show. After Lucy leaves her room, she goes to the armory to see that it's been broken into and all the weapons are stolen. And for those eagle-eyed that were fast enough to hit the pause, you can see on the floor little bullets used in the Syringer rifle from Fallout 4. And Lucy actually grabs a pistol version of the Syringer off of the wall, and we also see other vault dwellers using this to fend off the raiders. When Chet is trying to close the door and is approached by one of the raiders, we see him pull out a red-looking inhaler. This is known as Jet, one of the many chems throughout the Fallout series that affect the player in different ways. More specifically, Jet increases the action points of the player, or AP, in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and slows time in Fallout 4. Action points are used in the VATS system, V-A-T-S, but we'll learn more about that in Episode 2. After Hank has disposed of Monty in the pickle barrel, we see the projector has switched the screen to say, "Please stand by," in black and gray. Players from Fallout 3 will recognize this from the title sequence when the game is loading up the menus. Running out of the classroom to see the Knights of the Brotherhood in their T-60 power armor, we also get a glimpse of the Prydwen. This is the base of operations for the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 4. When Dane wakes up screaming from a razor blade going through their foot, we can see behind Maximus in the background that someone was reading an episode of Tesla Magazine. More specifically, this is the geckos and gamma radiation one, and when read, this increases the science skill of the player. This one is a little bit of an oopsie when Norm is distracting Davy so that Chet and Lucy can get the elevator up to the vault door. We see that he is trying to get some Nuka Cola out of the machine. However, when you look into the machine, all the Nuka Cola bottles are empty. When Maximus comes to visit Dane in the infirmary, we can see that laying next to them on the bed is a version of Guns and Bullets magazine. This specific issue, The Moon, a communist doomsday device, can be found in the Quincy ruins in Fallout 4. And it gives a 5% increase in critical damage on ballistic weapons when the player reads it. When Elder Quintus is giving the mission to the Knights of the Brotherhood and their squires, we hear a mention of the Enclave. The Enclave is a paramilitary group of high-ranking pre-war government and militant forces. They are intent of purifying the world of anyone who is not a human. They also believe anyone who is human and part of the Enclave to be superior to everyone that is not. When we see a description of the Enclave defector and his companion, gamers will notice the companion as Dogmeat. This specific model of Dogmeat is from Fallout 4, where he is a German Shepherd. When Honcho and friends go to dig up the ghoul, we see a guard standing outside a long concrete wall with a break in it. This is possibly a reference to the settlement, the castle, in Fallout 4, where you defend with the Minutemen and possibly the Brotherhood of Steel against the Institute. The guard takes a babyfoot to the chest, and we see the debut of the junk jet in the show. This is a weapon from the games that uses junk items as ammunition. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I put a ton of work into this, and I really appreciate it. I've put timestamps for the episode in the description for anyone that wants to go back and look at these items in freeze frame. And if you notice anything I missed, please leave a comment down below and like the video. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time for episode 2.